Within living memory, Australia was a place where housing costs were manageable and people of all ages and incomes had a reasonable chance to own a home with good access to jobs. But the great Australian dream of home ownership is rapidly turning into a nightmare for many young Australians. People on low incomes, especially renters, are spending more of their income on housing, especially in the form of rent. More than half of low-income Australians are in housing stress today, particularly those in our capital cities. And as we get new data, we would expect to see more in regional areas as well. 1 in 5 working-age households who rent are in financial stress, while the ugliest outcome, homelessness, is on the rise. Since World War II, Australia has been a nation of homeowners. Home ownership rates peaked at 71% in 1966, and 3/4 of the nation was on the property ladder and living the dream. But now home ownership rates are falling fast, particularly among younger and poorer Australians. Between 1981 and 2021, so 40 years, home ownership rates amongst 25 to 34-year-olds fell by from more than 60% to 40%. And for the poorest 40% of that age group, 25 to 34-year-olds, they've halved from 57% to 28%. Since the last census, we've started to see declining home ownership rates amongst middle-income households too, with noticeable falls in home ownership at all ages, and including older, middle-income Australians. So this is showing you the difference in home ownership just from the 2016 to 21 census, broken up between the poorest 20% through to the wealthiest 20% of each one of these age groups. This here, the previous slide, is showing just the sheer size of those falls at the top amongst poorer Australians, and just how much the world has changed from 40 years ago. And this is showing you the change in just the last 5 years. Home ownership is also falling among older Australians. Among the poorest 40% of 45 to 54-year-olds, just 53% own their own home today, down from 71% 4 decades ago. Now, we can blame the avocado brunches, young people spending less on discretionary items, recreation, alcohol and tobacco, clothes and personal care, household services and furnishings. But younger Australians spend less on those things on the right-hand side, on the right-hand side here, than what their parents did 3 decades ago. Where they are spending more is they're on the left-hand side. They're spending far more on transport, medical, housing, power and food. And people often mistake this because they see younger people going around with lots of clothes. And the difference is that your clothes probably now cost about 1/3 to 1/4 in real terms, adjusted for inflation, than what the same clothes cost 3 decades ago.